Everyone has learned about helpless stories of a buyer. Two common and very unfortunate promises of good deals that can't be passed up and return on investment that only a fool would reject. Being the largest single investments that over 90% of people will ever engage in buying any real estate properties. One of the most important decisions any persons will ever make. Doing the wrong thing will be devastating for any family. And for some, while their hopes of buying an assets pass on to their children as a dream, it is easily destroyed by unethical sellers that are in it to make quick money. Because of this, the Philippine government realized the needs to protect the Filipino buyer from all sorts of unethical transactions targeted towards unknowing buyers and sellers. So, in 2009, under the then President Gloria Macapagal-Arroyo, a law was introduced to do just that, to protect the Filipino buyers. RA 9646, or the Real Estate Services Act of the Philippines, was introduced and passed into law by Congress to ensure that buyers are protected from shady sellers or agents, and made sure that anyone engaging in real estate transactions answers to the government for criminal violations against the Filipino people. Thus, the professionalism of real estate brokers began. Gone are the days when dealing with unknowledgeable and unprofessional agents are the norm. Under the stewardship of the Philippine Regulation Commission, or PRC, the profession of a real estate broker required proof of knowledge in the field of real estate management by requiring a 4-year degree in real estate management and passing the PRC National Board Licensure exam in order to call a real estate broker. And under the Professional Regulatory Board of Real Estate Service, real estate brokers are now mandated the Code of Ethics to ensure that real estate transactions are done professionally and ethically with the goal of protecting both the buyer and the seller. In fact, 41 years ago, concerned and dedicated licensed real estate brokers banded together and dedicated themselves to pursue their common objectives of professionalizing the real estate industry and raising the level of ethical standards of licensed real estate practitioners. Things you need to know about Resa law. The law protects the rights of the real estate professionals and also lays down the rules which these professionals have to adhere to so that they may be registered under the PRC. Section 3 of the Resa law lists 5 types of professionals who are considered to be in the practice of real estate service. They are the real estate consultants, appraisers, assessors, brokers, and salesperson. The first must be duly registered and licensed by the PRC, while real estate salespersons need only be accredited. Real estate consultants are those who offer or render professional advice and judgment on the acquisition, enhancement, or disposition of lands. Real estate assessors, on the other hand, are those who are employed by LGU and appraise and assess the value of real properties, while appraisers perform their tasks for the purpose of reporting the values as appraised. Assessors perform such tasks for the purpose of taxation. Real estate brokers who act as agents of a party in a real estate transaction. Finally, real estate salesperson who may act on behalf of a real estate broker to facilitate a real estate transactions. Qualifications required under RA 9646. All applicants must be a Filipino citizen, must have a college degree or at least 2 years of college education for salesperson and have not been convicted of any crime. Consultant must also show proof of experience in the field, including proof of being licensed for at least 10 years as a broker, an assessor, or a licensed appraiser for at least 5 years. According to Section 20, professionals who have been practicing real estate services before the Resa law took effect in 2009 can be issued a certificate and professional ID without taking the prescribed exam, provided that they are already a real estate brokers, appraisers, or consultants licensed by the DTI. They are already assessors or appraisers who hold permanent appointments and have been practicing their profession for at least 5 years before 2009 and have passed the Real Property Assessing Officer exam conducted by the Civil Service Commission. They are the assessors or appraisers who hold permanent appointments, have at least 10 years of actual experience in real property appraisal or assessment, and have completed at least 120 hours of accredited training on real property appraisal. Now, remember this, the PRC deny your application for the real estate service profession even if you have passed the licensure exam. The most common grounds are the following. First, you have been convicted by a court of law of any criminal offense. Second, if you, upon investigation by the PRC, have been found guilty of immoral or dishonorable conduct. And finally, if you have been found to be psychological unfit for the profession.
Who is exempted from the application of the law? Section 28 of the Resa law as stipulates that the following are exempted. First are owners of real property or private owners, as they are not required to have a license. However, this does not include real estate developers because they are regulated by that issue. Trustees in bankruptcy or insolvency proceedings, public officers in the performance of their actual duties and functions such as, except government assessors and appraisers. Can foreigners practice real estate services in the Philippines? Generally, no. However, the law does not state an exemption. Foreign reciprocity, Section 24 of the Resa law stipulates that foreigners are prohibited from the practice of real estate services in the Philippines. Although, it also says that this rule shall not apply if the country where the foreign applicant is from allow Filipinos in the real estate service industry to practice within its territory as its own citizens would. Are there any details regarding the licensure exam and the license itself? The licensure exam is prepared and administered by the Professional Regulatory Board of the Real Estate Service under the PRC. It is composed of 13 real estate-related subjects which may be increased as the board sees fit. After passing the examination, you will be required to take an oath before a member of the board or the PRC. In addition, applicants for real estate brokers and appraisers are required to post a cash or surety bond. This bond is renewable every 3 years and shall not be less than 20,000 pesos. The license issued is also renewable every 3 years. The PRC licenses must be displayed in conspicuous area in the office or business establishment. May be licensed, suspended, or revoked. First, if you got your license through fraud or deceit. Second, if you allow an unqualified person to advertise or practice the profession using your own certificates, ID card, or permit. Third, if you engage in unprofessional or unethical conduct. Fourth, if you commit any form of malpractice or a violation of the Resa law itself, its implementing rules and regulations and code of ethics and responsibilities for real estate service practitioners. Finally, if you get suspended but still practicing real estate services. What does the law prohibit? If you have not been licensed by the PRC, except those who are covered by the Resa law's exemption. What are the penalties for violating RA 9646? Section 39 stipulates that any violation of the Resa law, including violation of its implementing rules and regulations, shall be penalized with a fine of not less than 100,000 pesos or imprisonment of not less than 2 years or both. If the offender happens to be unlicensed, the aforementioned penalty is doubled, 200,000 pesos and or 4 years imprisonment. Furthermore, partnerships, corporations, associations, or other judicial entities who have committed, consented to, or knowingly tolerated such a violation.
Code of Ethics and Responsibilities for Real Estate Service Practitioners. Article 1, the scope and coverage of the Code of Ethics. So, the real estate service profession shall embrace all acts of the real estate consultants, appraisers, assessors, brokers, then salespersons provided in Section 3, Article 1, and Section 27, Article 4 of RA 9646. No? So, Article 2 naman tayo. So, the general provisions and declaration of principles. Section 1, real estate practitioners shall uphold the Constitution and all the laws of the Republic of the Philippines. Section 2, we must exercise our profession with utmost integrity, fidelity, responsibility, respect, and courtesy. Section 3, we must comply the policies, rules, and regulation promulgated by the board and the commission. Section 4, uphold the generally accepted local and international technical and ethical standards. No? So Section 5, practitioner promote the values of yung camaraderie, unity, solidarity, and synergy on his professional relationship. So, nasa Article 3 na tayo, professional rules of ethics and responsibilities. So, Section 1, to the government, we must set a good example as a responsible law-abiding citizen. Section 2, to the general public, we must contribute the promotion of the common good by engaging in social responsibility and activities and initiatives. To the client, ayan, honest and trustworthy dapat tayo sa mga kliyente. Section 4, to our fellow practitioners, yan, dapat exercise natin yung rights natin in the performance of our duties and responsibilities. Act with fairness. Section 5, to IPO, accredited and integrated professional organization, we must support the IPO, participating in programs and activities.
Article 4 is all about specific duties and responsibilities. Section 1. The practitioner shall live up to the tenets enshrined in the oaths of professional which he or she was sworn to abide by in the practice of the profession. So, in other words, the practitioner must obey his or her sworn duties in the oath of professional. And Section 2. The professional shall provide his or her services in a competent, dedicated, and ethical manner compatible with the independence and integrity of the profession. So, dapat ang isang real estate practitioner ay competent enough to offer his or her services sa ibang tao and dapat dedicated sa kanyang profession. And Section 3, dapat ang isang real estate practitioner ay maging tapat at dapat ay sumunod sa Code of Ethics and Responsibilities na ito, pati na rin sa mga iba pang batas na ilalabas ng board sa mga susunod na panahon. And Section 4, nararapat lamang na ang isang real estate practitioner ay igalang at sundin ng kanyang mga pangako sa ibang mga partido. In condition na dapat na ang agreement nila ay walang nilalabag na batas sa loob ng code na ito at sa iba pa. And Article 5. So, final provision po ito. So, kung sino man na real estate practitioner na lalabag sa Code of Ethics na ito ay magkakaroon po ng karapatang parusa. Pwedeng bigyan lang siya ng warning or pwedeng masuspinde at pwede rin na patanggalan ng lisensya. Article 6, the effectivity. This Code of Ethics and Responsibilities shall take effect after 15 days following its publication on the official gazette or any newspaper of general circulation in the Philippines.
The mayor of real estate transactions contact only licensed real estate brokers for one of the most important transactions we will ever make. Protect your investment, protect yourself, protect your family.